Welcome to South America. We're described as the southern subcontinent of America. Are you ready? If you're ready, let's go. Sugarloaf Mountain is a peak situated in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, at the mouth of Guanabara Bay on a peninsula that juts out into the Atlantic Ocean. Rising 396 meters above the harbor, its name is said to refer to its resemblance to the traditional shape of concentrated refined loaf sugar. Towering 2,310 feet above the city of Rio, the Christ the Redeemer statue has fascinated experts and historians for nearly 100 years. It's the fourth largest statue of Jesus Christ in the world, the largest Art Deco style sculpture on the planet. And to top it all off, in 2007, the statue was deemed as one of the new seven wonders of the world along with Machu Picchu, the Great Wall of China, and the Roman Colosseum. Perched on the summit of Mount Corcovado in Rio, the statue stands at a whopping 98 feet tall, and its outstretched arms reach to 92 feet horizontally. Not only is the statue the most recognizable landmark of Rio, it becomes a cultural icon of Brazil as well. But most importantly, however, the statue has become a global symbol of Christianity that attracts millions of believers and non-believers to the top of Mount Corcovado every year. In President Franco District, nature gives the region a show over the waters. The imposing Monday Falls form a remarkable natural spectacle that has a long history. It was one of the stations in the past of the pre-Hispanic Guarani. The waterfalls is more than 40 meters high and consists of three main falls, with other minors to rush up near the mouth of River Manzay, one of the major tributaries of the right bank of the Parana River. The bitter herbal tea known as terere is Paraguay's national beverage. It was considered so valuable that it was exported to Europe in the 19th century, even used as currency exchange for boats and buildings materials. The town of Bella Vista is the south of the country. Is one of the biggest producer of yerba mate, a tree that is used to make cherry. The Chilean Lake District is a zone in southern Chile defined by its many lakes in the Andean foothills. The term is primarily used in tourism literature and advertising. In the Chile, zona sur is preferred as a geographical concept. The Chilean Lake District includes the cities of Tunuca, Billerica, Pucón, Valdivia, Osorno, Entre Lagos, Puerto Octay, Fortaleza, Puerto Barras, and Puerto Montt. Eastern Island, a Chilean territory, is a remote volcanic island in Polynesia. Its native name is Rapa Nui. It's famed for archaeological sites, including nearly 900 monumental statues called moi, created by inhabitants during the 13th to 16th centuries. The moi are curved human figures with oversized heads, often resting on a massive stone pedestals called ahas. Aho, Tonkariki has the largest group of upright moi. Casa Pueblo is a building constructed by the Uruguayan artist Carlos Paez Pilaro. It is located in Punta Palina, 13 kilometers from Punta del Este, Uruguay. It was originally a summer house and workshop of the artist. Initially, it was a summer house and artist workshop. It includes in its facilities a museum, an art gallery, a cafeteria, and a hotel. It was the permanent residence of a curator where he worked and spent his last days. Palacio Salvo is a building in Montevideo, Uruguay, located at the intersection of 18 de Julio Avenue and Plaza Independencia. It was designed by the architect Mario Planti, an Italian immigrant living in Buenos Aires, who used a similar design for his Palacio Barullo in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Finished in 1928, Palacio Salvo stands 100 meters high with the antenna included. It was the tallest building in Latin America for a brief period. Machu Picchu is a 15th century Inca citadel located in the eastern cordillera of southern Peru, on a 2,430-meter mountain range. It is located in the Machu Picchu district within Oramba province, above the Sacred Valley, which is 80 kilometers northwest of Cusco. The Oramba River flows past it, cutting through the Cordillera and creating a canyon with a tropical mountain climate. The famous Inca Trail is a 4-day hike, which terminates at Machu Picchu and is regarded by many as the highlight of their trip to Peru. This scenic trail is often more demanding than what many people are expecting, but also more rewarding. A couple of different starting points for the Inca Trail exist, but the traditional 4-day hike begins at 82 kilometers of the Cusco Aguas Calientes rail line. From this point, the trail passes more than 30 Inca ruins and traverses spectacular sceneries. The most difficult portion of the trail is the second day of the hike, with a climb of 1,200 meters in elevation gain and 2 high passes. The Galapagos Island is a volcanic archipelago in the Pacific Ocean. It's considered one of the world's foremost destinations for wildlife viewing. A province of Ecuador, it lies about 1,000 kilometers of its coast. It is isolated terrain shelters a diversity of plant and animal species, many found nowhere else. Charles Darwin visited in 1835, and his observation of Galapagos species later inspired his theory of evolution. The baths of Baños are believed to be holy water by the locals, and they have reported seeing the Virgin Mary at nearby waterfalls from time to time. Soaking in one of Baños' many hydrothermal hot springs is not just for relaxation. Heated by the active volcano Tongrongha, these thermal baths hold many health benefits. The archipelago is Los Roques National Park, but most people refer to the area simply as Los Roques. This is one of the best places to visit in Venezuela. The small seaside fishing village of Gran Roque on the island of the same name is the main settlement, with single-story homes painted in the typical bright colors seen throughout Venezuela. The buildings stretch out along the beachfront, which seems to go on forever. One of the highlights is the little islands of Callao de Agua. Reached by boat, this is one of Venezuela's most beautiful beaches with a shallow turquoise water, perfect for swimming and snorkeling. Located about 25 miles from the mainland and accessible via air or ferry, Venezuela's mountainous Margarita Islands provides Caribbean-style beaches and access to windsurfing, golf, horseback riding, and scuba with a laid-back South American vibe. It is comprised of 2 islands connected in the middle by the mangrove-filled lagoon of La Restinga National Park. Most development of falls on the eastern side around BC por La Mar, the capital La Asuncion, and Colonial Pampatar, founded in 1535. The world's third largest producer of coffee beans, Colombia is a fantastic country for tastings and tours. The vast majority of production takes place in the subtropical Andean hills west of Bogota, between the small cities of Armenia, Pereira, and Manizales. This region, known as Eje Cafetero, is home for a growing number of coffee plantations that have opened up their operation to the public in recent years for tours, tastings, and lavish farm stays. These small plantations are the kind of places where the farmer owner might take an hour out of his day to explain the process of how a humble cherry turns into a coffee bean that will one day be roasted and ground into a latte back home. Picture the Amazon, and Colombia may not be the first country to come to mind, which is odd because about a third of the nation is blanketed in its thick jungles. The capital of the vast Amazon basin is the small frontier town of Leticia, which sits along the banks of the mighty Amazon River, right where Colombia bumps up against Brazil and Peru. Leticia makes a great base for ecotourism, wildlife safaris, or hikes into the Amazon to learn about the indigenous tribes that call this area home. The only way to arrive here is by plane from Bogota, and you can continue onward by boat either downriver to Manaus, Brazil, or upriver to Iquitos, Peru. It has various stone and sand formations, which have been curved by wind and water. It has an impressive range of color and texture, looking somewhat similar to the surface of the moon. There are also dry lakes where the composition of salt make a white covering layer of the area. It presents diverse saline outcrops which appear like a man-made sculpture. There are also a great variety of caverns. When the sun sinks, it defines the landscape, while the wind blows among the rocks and the sky passes pink color to purple and finally black. The Plaza Morello is the central plaza of the city of La Paz and the open space most connected to the political life of Bolivia. Prominent buildings on the plaza included the Presidential Palace, National Congress of Bolivia, and the Cathedral of La Paz. It is located in the old town or Casubbejo of the city and surrounded by the Scubaya Street to the west and Ayuso Street to the east, Comerico Street to the south, and a continuation of Enbague and Bolivian Street to the north. Cerro San Cristobal is a hill in northern Santiago, Chile. It rises 850 meters AMSL and about 300 meters above the rest of Santiago. The peak is the second highest point in the city after Cerro Renca. Cerro San Cristobal was named by the Spanish conquistador for Saint Christopher and recognized of its use as a landmark. Its original indigenous name is Tapahawe. The Plaza de Armas is a public square in Intramuros, Manila, the central plaza of Fort Santiago. It is one of the three major plazas in Intramuros, the other being the Central Plaza de Roma, outside the fort ground and Plaza Mariones. A larger plaza outside Fort Santiago, which was once a military promenade before it was closed in the 1863 earthquake that devastated Manila. While Plaza Mariones is outside the walls of Fort Santiago, both plazas are often misconstrued for the other.